All right, welcome back. I hope you've been jamming along with your single note versions and strumming along on your muted strings to Make It Sweet by Old Dominion. You are one lesson away from playing this song in full. If you haven't watched the previous lessons, go ahead and check those out before you do this lesson. These are all going to build upon each other, and that's part of my framework of breaking songs down. So you start simple with just the single notes of the chords when you're learning how to play. Then you talk about your rhythm with your strumming. Then you worry about the chords. You learn the chords, and then you marry the two together. Now you've got a song. And what you're going to notice is after you do a few of these, hundreds of songs, thousands of songs are based on these simple progressions, similar chords. You throw a capo in there to change the key of a guitar, and you're going to unlock even more songs. So in this lesson, we're going to add full voicings of the chords that we learned. So G, we'll do a variation of a C, and then an E minor. We're going to do this by only moving two fingers. So we started out, we learned with one finger, we learned our strumming, and now we're going to learn chord voicings only moving two fingers. So let's get going. We're going to start out by planting our ring finger and our pinky on the 3rd fret on the B and high E string. So the bottom two strings here, the high, thinnest strings, those are going to stay there the whole time. All three of these chord voicings, these aren't going to move. Your index and middle finger are the ones that are going to move. So let's start with the G. Take your middle finger, just like we did in the first lesson, 3rd fret of the low E string, and your index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Now I've still got my other two fingers planted there on the 3rd fret. That is a G, a variation of a G. So once you have that G chord fretted, take your index and middle finger here, move them up one string. So now my middle finger is anchored to the 3rd fret of the A string, and my index finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string. That's called a C add 9, so it's a variation of a C. And look at the benefit of using that voicing. You can go back and forth between a G and that C add 9 with just moving two fingers, hardly any movement at all. G, C, G, C. So think of all the songs that start sounding like this. You've got every rose has its thorn. That's G and C. So work on going back and forth between those two chords, and there'll be a handout in the course material here to show you the chords that we're building up here. If you need to see it on a diagram or see a picture of my hand doing that, I'll attach those. The last chord we need to add is that E minor. So we've got our G, our C add 9. Now still leaving our ring and our pinky finger planted on that 3rd fret. We're going to put our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. So on that E minor, I've got an open E, 2nd fret A string, 2nd fret D string, open G string, 3rd fret on the B and E strings. So I got my G, and I've got a C add 9, moving my two fingers there. And that whole verse is just this. And you only move to that E minor toward the back end of the chorus. That's when you go from that C add 9. Now I'm going to swing my index and my middle finger over to the 2nd fret. So not a lot of movement between those. So let's strum through it super slow. We'll do a verse and a chorus like we did in the last videos. So we'll just simple downstrokes for right now. G, C. I know it's a drag, I know it's a grind. I know that $1 ain't worth a dime. Just trying to keep up with the Joneses at the end of the block. I know you get tired, I know you get down, I know you get sick of this soul-sucking town. Let's make a little lemonade of lemons is all we got. 'Cause I'm stuck on you, you're stuck on me. I never got on where my honey be. I ain't saving all my sugar for a Saturday night. 7 days a week and got an appetite. Sunsets like a tangerine. Let's find a road we never seen. Don't waste another mile or a minute not kissing me. Life is short, make it sweet. Life is short, make it sweet. So again, that's all going back and forth between a G and a C in the verse and most of the chorus. The back end of the chorus, you go from that C add 9 to a sunsets like a tangerine. Right there is where the E minor comes in. Let's back to the C. Let's find a road we've never seen. Don't waste another mile or a minute not kissing me. Life is short, make it sweet. Life is short, make it sweet. All right, so you can work on those chords. You can start by just the G and the C. Start simple as you can, switching back and forth between those. And then every once in a while, when you're practicing without that song going, go down to an E minor and back to that C and back to that E minor. So now let's run through it. I'll run through it a little bit slow still, but we'll do that strumming pattern we learned where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we go like this. Here we go with the G. So you're doing that pickup right before you switch chords is all you're doing. Everything else is downstrokes. I know it's a drag, I know it's a grind. I know that $1 ain't worth a dime. I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses at the end of the block. I know you get tired, I know you get down, I know you get sick of the soul-sucking town. Let's make a little lemonade of lemons is all we got. 'Cause I'm stuck on you, you're stuck on me. I never got on to where my honey be. I ain't saving all my sugar for a Saturday night. 7 days a week and got an appetite. Sunsets like a tangerine. Let's find a road we never seen. Don't waste another mile or a minute not kissing me. Life is short, make it sweet. Life is short, make it sweet. So there you have it. That's your first song this week, starting with one finger, breaking it down into simple steps, and then putting your knowledge of strumming together, basic knowledge of strumming, not worrying about patterns, just feeling the groove of the song. And then adding a simple beginner guitar voicing to minimize your movement. There are other versions of those G's and C's that you're going to do, which are going to require your fingers to do a lot more moving. You don't need them. Super small movements of 2 fingers, and you've got 3 chords. Those 3 chords are the basis of a ton of songs out there. If you add a D chord to what we just learned, you're going to be play along with 1,000 songs. So play along with that. Repeat this lesson, get comfortable playing along with me. Turn on Make It Sweet by Old Dominion. Start playing along with that. It's going to get easier the more you do this. I really hope this has helped you unlock the basic mindset of how I build up songs, how I learn songs, and how I'm able to play with a ton of songs out there with a basic fundamental knowledge of the guitar. We'll see you in the next lesson.